Okay, let's just jump right in. We hear about AI, artificial intelligence, pretty much every single day. But there's this really weird puzzle right at the center of all the hype. Why is it having such a tough time actually, getting traction inside the business world? That's the big question we're going to unpack right now.
So, yeah, this is the core mystery, isn't it? With all this incredible power and potential, why does it feel like business AI is kind of struggling to deliver on its promises? I mean, on the surface, it seems like it should be a perfect fit. So, what's really going on?
To get to the bottom of this, we've got to do a little time travel. We need to rewind the clock and look at the world of tech before the AI we talk about today even existed. Let's go back to what we can call the era of business IT. So, for decades, really up until about 2010, the whole tech innovation scene looked completely different. It was, for all intents and purposes, a corporate world. Big companies, they were the ones driving all the new developments, they were the main customers, and pretty much all new technology was built specifically to serve their needs. And what were those needs? Well, it pretty much all boiled down to one single mission: business process optimization, or BPO. The whole point of corporate IT back then was to take these messy, real-world operations, organize them with data, and just make them cheaper, faster, and way more efficient. We're talking about a world of spreadsheets, databases, and enterprise software. So, you could say this first world of IT had a super clear mantra. It was driven by corporations, its main goal was to optimize processes, and its primary focus? Cutting costs. The number one priority above all else was just pure efficiency. Everything served that bottom line. But then, right around 2010, something huge happened, a massive turning point that kicked off what you could call a democratic tech revolution. And it changed the game completely. And what was the catalyst for all this? Well, it was the nearly 7 billion smartphones that suddenly put insane computing power right into the pockets of regular people like you and me. I mean, for the very first time, technology wasn't just a tool for big business anymore, it was personal. And this led to a really profound shift. The source material captures it perfectly, saying, suddenly new developments emerged that were not intended for corporate use. And just think about that for a second. Apps like social media platforms or messaging services, they weren't built to help some company do its accounting. So, for the first time ever, the goal of this huge new wave of technology had absolutely nothing to do with corporate efficiency. Nope. It was about something much more human. Enabling and, well, digitizing our social lives. And this is where we get to this central idea of this whole explainer. You see, this revolution didn't get rid of the old world of IT. It actually built a brand new one right alongside it. And this created what we're calling the Great Divide. Two fundamentally different worlds of IT just existing at the exact same time. And this created two completely different ecosystems. On one hand, you've got business IT, which is all about optimizing processes. On the other, you've got social IT, which is all about enabling interaction. Business IT gets its money when companies buy or lease software. But social IT, well, a lot of it is free because it's funded by our personal data. And that means their priorities are worlds apart. Business IT has to prioritize compliance and efficiency, while social IT lives and breathes user engagement and attention. Let's really dig into that funding model for a second because it is absolutely key. In the business IT world, a company pays for a service, period. Sharing any kind of sensitive or personal data is a huge no-no. It's a liability. But in the social IT world, sharing your personal data isn't a bug, it's the entire feature. It's the currency you're using to pay for that free service. These two models couldn't be more at odds with each other. Okay, so we've got these two separate worlds. They have different rules, different motivations, totally different business models. And now we can finally start to see the real root of AI's identity crisis. Here it is. This is the heart of the problem, right here. The generative AI that has totally captured everyone's imagination. It was born and raised entirely in the world of social IT. It learned to walk and talk on the public internet, a place built from the ground up on social interaction, and, you guessed it, personal data. So what happens when you try to just drop this socially native AI into a corporate office? Well, you immediately smash into three fundamental conflicts. First, its whole design is optimized for conversation, for social interaction, not for rigid business processes. Second, its very nature depends on huge amounts of data, a lot of which is personal data, which is, again, totally taboo in the highly regulated corporate world.
And third, it just wasn't built from day one to prioritize the kind of strict compliance and regulations that businesses literally live and die by. All of this leads to a really simple but powerful conclusion from the source material. Today's AI is social-driven, not business-driven. It's an absolutely brilliant tool that speaks the language of social media fluently, but it's still just learning to speak the language of the boardroom. Which, of course, leaves us with the really fascinating question for the future. We've seen the identity crisis. We get the mismatch. The real question now is, can this powerful, socially native technology actually be retrained? Can it adapt? Can it learn the new rules? And can it truly succeed in the business world? That right there is the billion-dollar question.